Hello, friends. Welcome back to my YouTube channel and welcome to Chat with the Author. Today, we're talking about Ayurveda and Dharma or life purpose. Now, this was prompted by my latest video. It is a Michelle Fondin author vlog that I posted last week, and it is called Do Not Die with Your Music Still in You, or Don't Die with Your Music Still in You. And I spoke about how I got a book contract for this book, The Wheel of Healing with Ayurveda, an easy guide to a healthy lifestyle. And for weeks, I've been actually thinking about topics for the Chat with the Author, what to talk about, which books to highlight in the Chat with the Author. And I kept stumbling upon Dharma or life purpose. And so today we're talking about Dharma or life purpose. So in chapter 2 of this book, The Wheel of Healing with Ayurveda, I have an entire chapter dedicated to what I call the whole wheel. And the whole wheel encompasses this concept of Dharma. The word Dharma is a Sanskrit word that actually means virtuous path or rightful duty or virtuous path. Now, according to different philosophies, Dharma has a slightly different meaning. So in Buddhism, it means one thing. In Vedic philosophy, Indian Vedic philosophy, it means another thing. But they're all kind of interrelated. So if we're talking about earthly duty, we're talking about Dharma meaning if you're a mom, you're a mom. That is your Dharma. That is your rightful duty to perform those activities which encompass being a mom. If you are a farmer, then your Dharma or your righteous path or virtuous duty would be to perform the tasks of a farmer. So if we go on a really simple side of what Dharma means, it just means like performing the rightful tasks for that specific purpose. Now we can take Dharma one step further to mean your life purpose or that which is written in your heart, those things that are near and dear to you, that are your heart's calling. And so the tugging of your heartstrings, the tugging at you and what you are being called to do. And a lot of people come to me either in readings or even astrology readings or in coaching sessions, and they ask the question, what is my Dharma? What is my life purpose? I have a feeling I kind of sort of know what my life purpose is, but I'm not 100% sure what my life purpose is and what I'm supposed to be doing. So first and foremost, let me just tell you that, and if you're here, do say hello, put something in the chat box below, just say hi, where you're viewing this from. And if you're driving, don't do that. But if you're standing still, if you're static, go ahead and put something in the chat box. Do give the video a thumbs up too, totally appreciate it. So the thing about Dharma is that we don't have a singular life path and purpose. We can have several life purposes. So for example, for me early in life, my Dharma was being a mom. I really wanted to be a mom for as long as I could remember. Ever since I was a teeny tiny tot, I knew I wanted to have 3 kids. And why 3 kids? Because I thought 3 was better than 2. I just had 2 kids in my family. It was my sister and I, or is still my sister and I. And I felt like that wasn't enough. That wasn't a total family. I felt like we were missing something. And so I always wanted 3 kids, and I had 3 kids. And so for a large portion of my life, my Dharma was being a mom. So that can shift and change, and you can have multiple life purposes, but typically it's when you feel aligned, you feel in sync, you feel drawn to doing a specific thing. And in this book, so this is called The Wheel of Healing Companion Workbook, which is a workbook to go along with The Wheel of Healing with Ayurveda. I have a 15-day exploration on Dharma. So it can help you to move into the exploration of your life path and purpose. Because many people, they reach this juncture in life, they reach this point in life at which they're like, what now? What now? Like, I have the education, I have the job, I have money in the bank, I perhaps have bought a house, I have the 2.5 kids. But you reach these juncture points in life. Some people call them midlife crises, but they can come at age 25 or 30 or 35. And that's really not midlife by today's standards. But a lot of people reach this juncture and they're like, what now? I have all this stuff. I have the things that you're supposed to have in life, and yet I feel dissatisfied. And the reason most people reach this juncture and they feel dissatisfied is because there's a bigger calling. There's a stronger calling towards something that your soul is calling you to do. Now, that doesn't mean you have to abandon ship, abandon everything you've worked hard for. And sometimes people do that, and that's not the right answer. So it doesn't mean you have to abandon your life, but it does mean that if you're feeling the sense of dissatisfaction, or you're feeling like, I feel like there is something more for me, and it's been bugging you and bothering you for weeks and or years, then it might be time to really explore, like, why did my soul come here? What are the reasons my soul came here? What am I supposed to be learning, doing, being in order to fulfill that Dharma, in order to fulfill that purpose? Now, let it be said that everything has a Dharma. Everything has a purpose. All of the cells in your body have a Dharma. Every single cell. What is it? 1.3 trillion cells that we have in our bodies. So every single cell in your body has a Dharma. And when the cells of your body are aligned with their Dharma, you experience perfect health. You experience vibrancy and joy, and you feel really good when all of your cells are working according to their Dharma. But when your cells are not working according to their Dharma, you're feeling off. You might even feel sick. So everything in life has a Dharma. Everything has a purpose. And when you reach the point at which, and this is a good time to be talking about that too, because we're reaching the end of the calendar year. And often when people reach the first of the year, they do something called New Year's resolutions. And when you reach a New Year's resolution, what is that? It's trying to get aligned with your desires. That's what New Year's resolutions are. It's like, let me get aligned with my desires. Now, often people don't have the discipline or fortitude or will to continue those as the year carries on, because they lose focus, right? It's not that you lose willpower necessarily, but you do lose focus. But Dharma is really finding the pathway toward what your soul wants for you and you want for you. And that brings you joy. That brings you satisfaction. And it's not like you have to try so hard with so much willpower to attain it. It's that it calls to you. Now, another thing about Dharma is that some people think it's not necessarily my job. So my job, if I'm working a 9-to-5 job, or if I'm working a retail job, or I'm working at a theme park, that can't be my Dharma or my life's purpose. And there is nothing further from the truth. Your 9-to-5 job, your retail job, or your theme park job could perfectly well be your life purpose. Because think about it. If it's something that brings you joy, if it's something where you feel totally aligned and you feel on fire every single day, and you're so happy to wake up in the morning and get to work, then that is Dharma. That is alignment with your soul's calling, your soul's purpose, because maybe it's not about that job. Maybe it's not about that retail job, but maybe it's about the interactions that you have with your colleagues, or the interactions that you would have with your clients or customers, or the learning that's taking place in your actual job, your 9-to-5 job. So that is one misnomer about Dharma or life purpose. The other misnomer is that your life purpose will always be a job or career. And again, nothing is further from the truth. Your life purpose doesn't necessarily have to be your work or your career. It could be something that you just enjoy doing, and either you're helping people, or you're making the world better, or you're creating beautiful art, or you are organizing the best hikes for people on the weekends to see nature in the national parks. So that could be part of your life purpose, but you're not necessarily making money off of it or having an income because of it. So we need to really expand our vision, especially as we come to the first of the year and you're doing your New Year's resolutions, but we need to expand our vision of what life purpose or Dharma actually is. So it's not something that's like stuffed into a box and it's this one specific thing that we absolutely came here to do. We have to do it, and that is the only thing we have to do. Your Dharma or life purpose can change over time. So something that was your life purpose for, let's say, ages 20 to 30 might change when you're 30 to 40 or 40 to 50. It might change. It might transform. As you grow, so does your Dharma grow. And so when we think of it as more of an expansive part of who we are, but still aligned with our soul's calling, it gives us so much more wiggle room to think about our life path and purpose. Because a lot of us really get stuck in this, especially if you're going through a transition, like looking for a job. So let's say you either quit a job, got fired from a job, or laid off, and you're going through this transitional phase in your life, and you're asking yourself, well, I don't want to just find a job. I want to find a job that's aligned with my life purpose. And so a lot of times we can pigeonhole ourselves into something that keeps us stuck in a certain way, a certain pattern, or a certain mindset. And if someone offers us a job, a very well-paying job, we might just ignore it because we're like, well, that's not my life purpose, when we don't really know if it's part of our life purpose or not. So just keeping that expanded version of Dharma can really help you as you navigate your life forward, especially in those moments of transitions, especially in those moments of maybe a crisis, like midlife crisis, or a mid-30s crisis, or a mid-20s crisis. Okay, so I'm going to read you one of the number one exercise on finding your Dharma. This is intended from this book, The Wheel of Healing with Ayurveda Companion Workbook. It's actually intended to be a 15-day exploration into Dharma, but I'm going to read the first day for you. So it can be something that you can get started on, because this is like something that is really worth exploring, and not just once. It's really worth exploring perhaps once a year, once every 2 years, once every 3 years. It is something that's totally worth exploring. So in that video that I spoke of, and do check it out after this video, it's my latest vlog, Michelle Fondin author vlog on Don't Die With Your Music Still in You. That's actually a quote by Dr. Wayne Dyer. In that vlog, I spoke about how I had this transformational moment not too long ago where I was realigning myself with my Dharma. Not to say that what I've been doing hasn't been part of my life purpose. It's just that I had a moment where I really needed to realign myself. So again, this is not a one-time thing. You're not just doing finding my life purpose, finding my Dharma just one time. There's going to be a constant sense of realignment. Okay, so this is day one from my book, The Wheel of Healing with Ayurveda Companion Workbook. So day one is watch, observe, and jot down. So again, this could be, you don't have to do it for one day. You could do it for 3 days, or you could do it for 5 days, or you could do it for a week, because we are just getting the juices flowing for your life path and purpose. All right, here we go. Today, you are going to watch yourself as you go throughout your day. Notice what makes you happy, joyful, and thankful. Which activities are you enjoying? Which activities don't you enjoy? Who do you like to spend time with? What do those people bring to you as gifts? How do you make others laugh or smile? If there is little to no joy, look inside to see what is bothering you. Don't make any judgments, just write down these observations for today. So, as I mentioned, Dharma does bring you joy. When you're aligned with your virtuous path, when you are aligned with your righteous path, it's easy. You feel joy. Things move very smoothly, easily, even if it's work. Even if it's work, it's joyful work. Even if it's work, things roll forward seamlessly, smoothly. So let me give you an example. I have a Tesla. I kept having to put air in one of these tires, and I was like, oh, good Lord, it might be something wrong with my tire. So I first went to a tire place, and I realized they told me, look, no one but Tesla can actually repair these tires. Okay, they're a special type of tire. So I realized that with my Tesla, I could have a tire service where they would come to your house and they could either replace the tire or they could repair the tire. And this man came from Tesla services to assess my tire. And even on the phone, this man was one of the most joyful people you could meet. He was even laughing at my voicemail and said, wow, you have an amazing voicemail. And he was just happy and joyful and cheerful. Now, this man is replacing people's tires all day long, every day. That's his job. So you would think, okay, he's meeting people at a time of a crisis, right? People are in need, they're impatient, they're angry, they don't want to spend the money on the new tire or spend the money on repairing the tire. And yet this man was a delight from beginning to end, a delight to work with. That person was clearly in Dharma. There was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. He was totally joyful in his work, totally joyful with his customers, and just having a wonderful time, even though this is hard labor for all intents and purposes. So that man was clearly in Dharma, and he wasn't doing anything extraordinary in the sense of he wasn't building skyscrapers, right? Or running a Fortune 500 company. But he was 100% in Dharma, and it was wonderful to work with him. It was a joy to work with him. And so when we think about the things that bring us joy throughout our day, who we make laugh, the people who make us laugh, how do we interact with others? What are the things we really hate doing, and what are the things that we really love doing? So that's just step one. That's step one of the 15-day process of the exploration into Dharma, the exploration into your life purpose. So I hope this has inspired you to take a look at that, especially as we end 2024, moving into 2025, because I feel like it's a beautiful time to be reassessing, reevaluating, starting fresh and new, and setting some Dharma goals, if you will, for the upcoming year, for 2025. And again, if you are interested in reading The Wheel of Healing with Ayurveda, exploring the 15-day Dharma exercise in this book, do pick up copies of these books. So I'm just finishing a book. I'm finishing The 8 Limbs of Yoga for Modern Times. practical guide to the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. So I've just pretty much finished writing it. I'm in the editing process. I am up over my head with joy, of course, but a lot of hours of work contributed to finishing writing this latest book. So I will not be live for a chat with the author for the next 2 weeks, the last 2 weeks of December. I will see you all in the new year. I want to thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you for watching this on replay. If you're happen to catch this on replay, thank you for subscribing to my channel below. Click on the bell, scroll up to all for all notifications. Thank you for giving the video a thumbs up. And thank you for checking out any or all of my 11 published books. I really appreciate the support, and I will see you real soon. Happy holidays and Happy New Year.